Please welcome your host from random corners of the world, making his way through the jungle of online businesses to $10 million. Anatoly Spector.
Ooh, and we are live. Hello, guys. Welcome to 10 Million Journey. I'm Anatoly, and this is a place where I record how I scaled my online businesses to 10 million and pick up the brains of the best people in the world. And my guest today is Izabela Hamilton. She's a founder and CEO of Rank Bell. I'll put it in the show notes so you guys can check it out. It's a top ranking and launching service for Amazon sellers. I know lots of people who are using it, and they're very, very happy about it. So you guys should check it out. She has an amazing story, very, very inspiring. She came from Romania with $100 in her pocket and no English. And this did not stop her to create a 7-figure business and be a leading mind in Amazon seller community. So I'm going to talk to her about her story. And of course, I'm going to pick up her brain on how to launch and rank products in 2021. Izabela, I'm so excited. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I really love that introduction. Thank you. Appreciate that. And what I love even more, it's like the intro to your podcast. Oh my God. It's so cool. I was like, oh my God, am I about to like be on a stage with like Tony Robbins or something? So I really appreciate that. It's so much fun. Thank you for having me.
You. Yeah, appreciate the comment. I want to start with your backstory. I know that you were born in Romania. I'm actually originally from Latvia, so it's close by, and I can relate. But for people who are not from there, let's talk about it. How was it growing up in Romania?
Oh my God. Sometimes like when I look back to my life then and now, it's almost like a different movie for some reason. It's like I had that life there and it's like my life here, and it's just like some very faint memories, but it was amazing. It was amazing because that's all I knew. It was my childhood. I grew up there. That's all I had. I didn't know there was another life beyond that. Because when you're a kid, I mean, you don't know much. I mean, I don't know how it was in Latvia, but I assume it was kind of similar to Romania. It's like, you grow up with your neighbors. They're like your family, right? Because you wake up every single day, you see them, they come to your house, they borrow stuff, you go to their house, and it's very family style. It's almost like, for those who live in America, I would say the closest to that would be like maybe a Spanish culture, where everybody's welcome, everybody's super loud. So when I think of my life back in Romania, I remember the good times. Of course, as I grew older, there were things that I didn't really like, such as like the politics of the country. I didn't like the fact that I wasn't, seen as who I thought I was. I was always asked, like, who are your parents? Are they influential? And, growing up in like, an average family, you're no influential by no means. You're not like Brad and Angelina's kid or something. So I was just normal. So, when I started applying for jobs and things like that, they would say, like, no, we're not going to accept you because like your parents are nobody, and wow. Even then I did not like that. Like I didn't know there could be better, but I felt like it should be better, Yeah. And this is what got me thinking of like, okay, well, if I cannot create a life that I want here, where can I go to do that? And this is how like my dream to come to America started.
Amazing. And then, I can relate, like talking about Latvia for sure. It was post-Soviet country, pretty dark, and you need to be influential. You need to know someone to get somewhere. People who are working in the good posts, they definitely know someone. I think it's better now as part of European Union, but at that time, it was no coincidence that you are in the position you are. And it was, and I don't know how it was in Romania, you tell me, but I would not see true entrepreneurship. I would not see people who are just without anything, they would go and hustle and they would get the life of their dreams. Have you seen good examples of that in Romania or many of them?
Now I see a lot more, definitely. But when I grew up, there was not really any like role models that I could look at. Of course, you had like your soccer players who were, somewhat celebrities, but I'm sure even they didn't make a lot of money because everything was corrupt, even people like that, somebody put their hand in their pocket and took some money out. So and then you had like your singers and your this kind of level people, and again, same thing with them. I don't think they made as much as we thought they were,
Yeah.
especially not compared to like American celebrities. And yeah, so there's not really any role models. Like my role model was my dad, and my aunt, his sister. She was badass.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if I can say
You
that on the
can, yeah. Feel free. Feel free
she was
to
like
swear here.
super fierce and super like strong, and I was like scared of her, like when she would like come in the same room as me, I was like, oh my God, I would make myself so small because she was very powerful. She was also very giving and very sweet, but when she said one thing, everybody around listened. I was like, holy cow, like I want to be that. I want to do that. She passed away many years ago, but she was like, the whole city knew her. You know what I mean?
Oh,
The whole
yeah,
city
yeah,
knew
yeah.
her. Like you mention her name, and they're like, "Oh my God!" Like, "Oh yeah!" Like we know who she is. Like we're scared of
Yeah.
her. But it wasn't that
Oh,
she did anything bad. She was just like her presence and her confidence and her like she was just so badass that everybody was like respecting her. So I've always wanted to create that for myself because my personality is very much like kind of a little bit like people pleasing. Like, I tend to say yes more than I should. I
yeah.
don't really like saying no. And, this other personality that like she had is everything against that. She was
I
just like, she
see.
knew when to say no. And because of it, people respected her. And on the other side is like, a lot of people tend to think like, okay, if I say yes, then people will like me. The more I say
Yeah.
yes, the more people will like me. But in the end, that actually only hurts us because the more we say yes, then we lose that power and control for ourselves and we become pushovers. I mean, I never got to that point. I mean, people that know me, they know that's definitely not something I am. But had I stayed in Romania under that control and under that like um, mind control, I probably would have become that. So
I
I'm
see.
so glad I left. But right now I think it's a little bit different. I think there's a lot more entrepreneurs with the rise of the internet and especially with Amazon. I mean, me and
Yeah.
you were talking right before starting the show about some mutual friends that we know, like they're killing it and
Yeah.
due to Amazon. Like otherwise, I mean, yeah, you can have a job and even probably the highest paid job in Romania sitting at a desk somewhere, you still have a miserable life. So I am very grateful for being able to work online, being able to talk to you. Like you're in Bali right now. Like, come on,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm in San Diego, California. So we're doing pretty good. We're not doing bad, right?
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
So, why America? Why United States? And how did that came to be? I assume that immigrating from Romania to United States is a very big deal.
Very.
So,
Yeah.
how long did it
So
take you to think about it? And like, how did that came to be?
So I was brought by the coyotes in Mexico. No, I'm just kidding. I did not. I did not. Just reference because I'm like right in San Diego, but probably a terrible joke. But I applied for a program, and I don't know if in Latvia you guys had these programs. They're called
Green card
J1.
lottery?
Yeah, no. We had
Oh,
that. We applied a million times. Nobody's winning that. I don't know who's winning,
okay.
but not
Okay.
us. It was called J1 visa. Like you could come with you could come on a work visa, so you could come as a student or you could come and work at hotels. So I picked one that had to do with kids. I was like, I'm a girl, I can take care of kids. It's like natural, right? So I
Yeah.
applied for this program. It's called Au Pair, and you know, I was like super nervous because it was definitely one of my big dreams, right? Just coming to America to me seemed so far away. It seemed like such a big dream. And I don't know. I always like to assume that all European countries we think the same. Like when we think America, we think that place like where there's just so much wealth and there's just so much for everyone that even now I have people back home in Romania that they probably think I'm like, oh my God, like I live in like some palace or something, It's just that mentality that we have, is that
Yeah,
vision, that image of like, oh my God, America is the place to be. So growing up as a kid, of course, in my head, America looked even crazier, looked even more appealing, looked like it looked like what we saw in the movies, like this like fast life and beautiful cars and beautiful homes and fashion. And so I really wanted that. And then, when the opportunity came and I saw this program, I felt like, I was like, this is for me. This was
okay,
created for me. So I took a chance. I applied, and not many people actually made it, because it was very, very tough to get a visa back then. It was very, very tough. I remember going into the embassy, and I remember people just like walking outside crying, because in Romania, like if you missed it, if they deny you, then it's going to be very, very hard for you to be accepted again for the visa.
yeah,
It's like once they say no, every time you go to the embassy after, they're like, well, somebody else said no to this person, so I'm going to say no again. It was
yeah,
almost
yeah.
like, once you got denied, you were basically done. So I was like praying and praying, like, please, please, God, that's all I want. I will never ask you for anything else. It's like making a deal with God, like, please, please, please. Um, and I walked in and I told you, I remember like people just going in and coming out, and they were like crying. I'm like, oh my God. And I kept like trying to listen for my name because they were speaking English. I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. And then eventually they're like, oh, Izabela. And I'm like, what? Like, was that me? So I got up and went to the, they have this little like kiosk,
Window.
where
Yeah.
kind of like the DMV here. You go there, and I went there and I had a hat on because it was like super cold. It was December, and I took my hat off, and I probably looked like a homeless person. I'm pretty sure, because I had just traveled like on a train for like past 8 hours, like no sleep,
Wow.
with the hat, and I was like, God, please, 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 let me take this visa. And the person started asking me questions like, oh, what is it that you want to do? Why do you want to go to America? And who knows what I said. In,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
my broken English, I think I managed to tell them that I want to come to America to like work with kids. And I remember the person asking me like, what am I going to do when I come back from America, right?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I'm going to open like a kindergarten for kids. I remember saying that, but in my head, I'm like, I'm not coming
Not
back.
coming back.
I don't
Yeah.
know. And and they kept asking me questions, and I think they had maybe some type of translator there that was helping. And then in the end, the person just looks at me and is like, okay, accepted. And I'm like, oh my God, is this real? Is this real? It's like reality set in, and it's like I just busted out of there. I forgot my hat, I forgot everything, I didn't even care. I just ran outside, and my dad was waiting for me, and he was like looking for my eyes to see like to give him some sign, because he was like on the other side of the street. Like he was like, did you get it? Did you get it? And I didn't say anything. I just ran to him, and then I was like, yes, I got it. And we like started crying, and it was, oh my God, so emotional.
So
Because
nice.
but at the
Wow.
same time, I was like, holy cow, like that means I have to leave my country. I have to leave my friends. I have to leave everyone. Like I was living with my parents. I was a baby. Like I've never left my house. I've never left my town. I mean, yeah, you go to like see your grandparents in the village,
Yeah.
but not to another country on another continent that speaks another language, and you're gonna live with some random people that you have no idea. I was like, okay, sign me up. Like when I think now, I'm like, how crazy was I to do this? Because
Yeah.
it's not easy. Yeah.
100%. It's not easy. I immigrated to Canada from Latvia, so I hear you. It's
Yeah.
definitely not easy.
Did you have family in Canada? Did you
I
have
had an
somebody there?
aunt there. Yeah, there was an aunt who lived there. But again, my English was not as good as I hoped it will be. Though I studied in English university before, but when I learned it, I'm like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. And I
And
don't.
especially
And
the people speak so fast, like English.
yeah,
Like I know I can hear myself speak really, really fast, because
yeah,
I got used to, like when I came here, I didn't like try to immediately join like some Romanian communities. There was none, first of all. But it helped me really improve my English. And the way I speak now, it's very Californian. Like I use a lot of California slang, like dude and things like that. Them you wouldn't learn that back in Romania. It's part of like where the
West Coast. Yeah.
yes, exactly. So
Yeah, I'm from Vancouver, so I use the same words. So we're on the same page.
Yeah.
So you landed with $100 in your pocket, which
Right.
seems crazy for people, crazy for me, and I'm sure for most people still listening to this and watching. It's crazy. $100 in your pocket. What's going through your head? I guess like what was the
So
reasoning?
the good thing about being part of this program, the J1 visa program, is that they set you up with a family. They send you to somebody to live with, and they're supposed to feed you, and they're supposed to give you the necessities, and then they'll give you like as a very small salary per month. And at that time it was $140 a week. So yeah, it was about that. So not a lot of money, it wasn't a lot, but for me, even $100 like in Romania it was I think it was like the salary for a whole month in Romania at that time. Maybe even more. Maybe it was like for a month and a half. So for me, having $100, I was like, oh my God, like this is good, And then I came to US, and then I landed here. We landed in New York because we had to go to this like training center. And I remember I bought like a calling card because I wanted to call my parents, and you tell them I made it okay. There was no cell phones, not really, back then. And I remember I got like some chips because that's all I could recognize. Oh my God, I thought the food was disgusting. Like on the plane, the food was horrible. I did not touch it. I came here, everything tasted sweet to me, everything. It's like even the bread was sweet. I was like, what is wrong with these people? Why is everything so sweet? Of course, now I'm like a full American. I'm like, oh, that tastes great. It's amazing. But yeah, so that was what I spent my first $100 on. And but they sent me to this family, and was in Lincoln, Massachusetts. And so basically when I came to America, I think it was January. Yeah, it was January, and it was super cold in Romania. Snow, like just full winter. Not like winters now. Now the winters are like cool. They don't have that much snow anymore. When I left Romania, snow was like up to my stomach. And then I landed in New York. I went to Lincoln, Massachusetts, and it was the same. I'm like, I'm not even in America. Like, this is not the America that I imagined. I'm like, who signed me up for this? This is fake advertisement. This is not what I thought, because it was literally the same. But of course, it was so pretty. It was, I was in this like neighborhood with like this gorgeous homes, and like you couldn't even see the next home, but it was kind of creepy because it was like in this place and everything was so far away. And the family there, so I went to their house. They picked me up. They were like trying to talk to me in English. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about, but I was like, yes, and I don't know what they were saying, but I went to their house, and they kind of tried to explain to me like what my job is, what I have to do. And that's really what the program is. Like they bring you on for a year, and then you have to take care of their kids, take them to school, try to make like a little food for them, little snacks. Of course, I knew nothing of that. I've never taken care of a baby in my whole life. I'm like, they should ban these programs because I don't know. All the nannies are like me. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. But I feel like Europeans we're very responsible, and we learned very fast, But it was funny because the family is like, oh, here are the keys for this card. Take the kids to school. And I'm like, first of all, I just had gotten my license just for the program. One in Romania on like, I don't know if you remember, like back then, like the cars in Europe, they're like with the shift stick, and they're just horrible. Like I remember I was driving in Romania, and like the shift stick was in my hand. Like I don't know what I did, and it just came out. It was like, those cars, they look like from Flintstones, from the from those cartoons. And here I come to this family, and they're like, oh yeah, here's take the car. I had to go on a freeway. We don't have that in Romania. Like I was like, I was going probably so slow. I was probably going like this, like 20 miles per hour. And the kids were like, Izabela, like, hurry up. What are you doing? And it's so crazy now when I think about it, because nobody tells you these things. Like, it's a culture shock, literally
Yeah.
a culture shock. And I had to learn everything myself, but in a way it was good, because it didn't give me time to think about it. Because if I were to sit down and be like, oh my God, I'm just about to go on a freeway where cars go really, really fast, I would be freaking out. But I had the job to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started working for them. It didn't work out. They were, oh my God, I don't know. In my eyes, they were like crazy people. But also, I was suffering from home. I was missing home and my parents and my family and my friends, and that didn't work out. And then another family took me in from California, and that's when I came here, and I was like, okay, I see you, America. I see you. This is what life is about. Is right here in California. I remember like flying in, and I saw the palm trees, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. What do you
Yeah.
think of like California? And it was so nice, and it was spring, and it was March, and it was hot already. I was like, this is America. Now this is what I'm talking about. And I just like fell in love with the place. Fell in love.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So let's fast forward a little bit about you getting into e-commerce. So I know from one of the interviews you had that the idea to start, at least the idea to start e-commerce came to you while you being in Rwanda, Africa.
Mhm.
So I don't know much about it because I tried to look for prompts, but not look for the whole story. So
Yeah.
what were you doing in Rwanda, Africa?
Oh my God. So I was working actually at the US Embassy there. So fast
Oh, wow.
forward, I got to work at the embassy. And I remember when I worked there, I was like, oh my God. I remember in Romania, like I was so scared of the embassy. It was like this place that decided your life. And
Yeah.
then here I am years later working at the US Embassy in Rwanda, doing exactly almost like what that person had to do. I mean, I wasn't the interviewer, because then you have to it's a whole process of becoming an employee for that. But I was almost like a kind of like contractor, I would say. And I was doing like the fingerprints. I saw the whole process, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So yeah, I was working there, and from then on I moved to Myanmar, which is in close to you actually.
Yeah.
As you know, for those that don't know, it's about 30-40 minutes fly from Thailand. And oh my God, Asia, I fell in love with Asia. I would go back in a minute. Actually, I've been to Bali, by the way. It's one of the most beautiful places that I've ever seen. But yeah, so the idea came to me. It wasn't even an idea. It just kind of like I fell into it. I just really saw Amazon as this like huge machine that's just growing, growing, growing. And I've always kind of been interested in how do people make money online? And I'm sure a lot of us, and those who are watching, a lot of us at some point in our life typed in how to make money online. Like I'm pretty sure that's like a rule
Yeah.
for entrepreneurs who are looking to make money online. And I was like, what is this thing? Like, how do people actually make money? Because to me, it seemed like it was like magic money, like artificial money, like who's paying who. Like I didn't understand this concept. And when I got into Amazon, it was more like I was so curious how this amazing company is going above and beyond for their customers. And because of their customer service, actually they are still the best company in the world right now, because they
Yeah.
never quit that. So when I was in Rwanda, I was trying to order all these things, online from, like, I try to order from Walmart, I try to order from like Nordstrom, and all of them got denied, even though we had like the US mailing address. But because it was like it wasn't a PO box. I forgot the actual term that they use. But they would send there, and they would be sent right back. So none of them
Wow.
actually came to Africa. And but every time we order off of Amazon, everything came. Yeah, it was delayed. Like we would order now and it will come in like a month.
Yeah.
Because of like how long the process takes, because the Amazon sends it to like this PO box, and then this runs, the shipments, they don't get sent right away. They have to collect for a certain amount of time. Otherwise, there's no point in them sending just like one little tiny package at a time.
Yeah.
But, it got me interested. I was like, how come this company can do this and they're willing to do this? Because they could have been like all the other companies, like, I'm just one person, like, why would they care? But it's like one person and one person and one person and one person, they're winning the world over. And look at us now, where Amazon is and how amazing this is. I mean, yeah, Amazon is, it has its own faults, trust me.
For sure.
As
I
we all
know.
know. As we all know. But if you think about it, when it comes to customers, they are on point. 100%. They will always have the customers back. Now, when it comes to being a seller on Amazon, it's, Amazon is not always there for you, because it's almost impossible. I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be done. It's just, there's just so many sellers that I feel like, Amazon is still focusing more on customer rather than us, the sellers. But that's another story.
I read somewhere, like, that's a good comparison somebody did between eBay and Amazon. So they started the same way, and eBay was very, very popular, but eBay focused on sellers. eBay is all about selling, and Amazon is about customers, and that's why eBay went down while Amazon went up. I think that's
and Amazon, they just, Jeff Bezos kept pouring money into Amazon, kept pouring money. I mean, for the longest time, he wasn't making any money, kept putting in. And, next thing you know, it was an overnight success, but it really wasn't overnight. It was years in the making, but it was all about customer. It was all about customers. Like, he had this vision and he focused on it, which, makes us think, like, if we only had a laser focused vision onto anything we want to do in life, whatever that is, like, like you with your 10 million journey, if you're focused in, and I think you're doing it right now, this is what you're doing. You have your podcast, you're doing this. And if you keep doing that every single day, you will get there and more. But a lot of us, we start strong, just like after New Year's, it's like, okay, New Year's resolution, I'm going to go in the gym and eat. And then by like week 1 or week 2 and 3, it's like boring. It's like, do I really want to do this? But those who stick to it and they see the end goal are the ones who will always win, win. And that's what happened with Amazon. You don't think Jeff Bezos had so many problems? And even now, like, he probably has a lot, but he knows where he wanted to go. He knew the end result, and it's taken years and years in the making. And look, now he's the king of the world.
Yeah. And you definitely applied that in your business as well. So that's how you were able to grow your business. I'm sure with consistency. So do you remember your first client? Like, how did you get your first client? How did you sell?
So the first client, it wasn't even a paid client. It was just a friend of mine, and he wanted to give it a try on Amazon. And of course, I didn't have money to start a store, and I wanted to, but then it wasn't like a dream of mine. But this guy was like very, very much like, checked everything, just like you said, like eBay and all of this. And he's like, Izabela, like, can you help me list this on Amazon? I'm like, of course, like, it's not my money, it's not my store, it's not my it's not my problem. Yeah, let's do it easy, right? And then so I started creating the listing for him. And I mean, it was 2021, so it was like 2015 or so. Very easy back then. So I just looked at like what the competitors were doing and just changed up some words. I got like the right dimensions for the product and all this. We listed it, took some really ugly pictures, made it active, and boom, it just started selling. And then in the process, he's like, okay, I'm sending this products from China. Do you think you can receive some at your house? Just check them out for me. Like, make sure they're okay, because this company's in China. I don't know if they're telling me the truth. What do you think? So he sent that to me. He's like, okay, so what do you think? So I gave him like some feedback. It's like, do you have any friends that could do the same? But I want them to order off of Amazon now. I was like, yeah, for sure, let's do it. So in the meantime, we started kind of like a quality control, but even without knowing what we were doing. So my friends started ordering, but we noticed every time somebody ordered on Amazon, like the rank went right up. So even if they listed a product now and it was like on page 5 or 6 back then or whatever, the more people order, it will bring it right up on page 1. And that's when things just started moving, because you're on page 1 and now people are just, you're the only product, you're the product right there. Like they just bought it, even with the ugliest pictures ever, without an optimized listing, without any of that. Of course, later we got smarter. But he's like, oh my God, like I just discovered gold, right? So he's like, do you think you can do the same thing for my friend? He's like, he'll pay you. I'm like, of course, online money, right? It's like free money. So he sent his friend to me, and I did the same thing with him. And I think the first time I got paid, it was like $600. And oh my God, I thought I was rich. I said, this is it. Like, I'm making money online. Like, it's on. So, next thing you know, that person recommended me to one of his friends, and that person to another 2 people, and so forth. And over the years, we just grew to like thousands and thousands of sellers that we've helped so far. But yeah, it wasn't something, I was interested in Amazon, but it's like I was there at the right time, right moment, with the right people. And oh my God, I made plenty of mistakes. I made mistakes. Sellers made mistakes. But together we learned about the algorithm. We learned like what makes product rank. And it's been just a wonderful journey.
Yeah, let's talk about ranking. I'm sure people who are listening are also interested, because you are an expert, so you know what works in 2021. And we'll come back to your journey for sure. We'll talk about some of your failures. But for people who are here to get some tips and tricks on what works, let's say somebody's starting out and they do not have a lot of money to invest in like ranking service, because I know they are not free, and they worth it, but they're not free. So what advice would you give for someone who's just starting out in 2021? They have their first product, but they just want to rank.
Yeah.
What would they do?
I'm hoping, if they don't have money, I'm hoping that they at least have time. Because if you have time, like that's all you need. I mean, when I started using a service like mine, and I would love for everyone to use it, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary. But what you have to do is you have to use your time and work towards creating your own community. So a lot of sellers come to us and they say, I want to rank this product. And I ask them for their, for their product information. I said, can you give me like your Facebook page for the product, your Instagram page? And they're always baffled. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, are you telling me that you don't even have a fan page for your product? Like that, I think that should be number one thing for people who are starting to sell right now. Automatically create that page. I know you're thinking, well, why would I do that? Because my product is going to be on Amazon. Like nobody goes to Instagram. You will be surprised how many people will go check your product out on Instagram. Like they'll see it on Amazon, but they'll check it on Instagram, because Instagram, and I want to focus on Instagram more than Facebook, because Instagram has become like that social proof, like especially for like younger generations. So if your customers are between like 20 and 30s, maybe even 40s, you will find these people on Instagram. Oh, they spend a lot of time on Instagram. And believe it or not, we use Amazon as a search engine, right? We know the product we want, we type it there. But a lot of them go to check you out on Instagram. It's like it's like real reviews, because on Amazon it's like, there's reviews, but it's a lot of people, just trust me, they will go to Instagram. And if they look for your product, for like your microphone, and it's not on Instagram, you don't really have any presence there, they will probably go with somebody who has a online presence on on these social media accounts. So just starting with that. And second thing is, like, once you have this page, then you can start reaching out to people to create a fan base, because in the end you are trying to create a brand, right? You're not trying just to like sell a product. You don't want to be a Me Too product, because I'm pretty sure your product, a lot of people are already selling it. You know what I mean? Unless you're like some super genius brain, and if you are amazing and you come up with like some unique system or some unique product, amazing. But then you'll probably do a Kickstarter campaign. You know what I mean? or
Yeah.
you start something like that. But if you're selling on Amazon, if you're starting to sell on Amazon, you're probably going to pick a product that's already like, you already validated, it's already selling on Amazon, it's already making money, because that's what a lot of sellers do, right? They'll go to Helium 10, they'll put in the ACE, and they're like, oh my God, this product is making 500,000 a month. That's the one I'm going to sell,
Yeah, that's a
and
bad idea actually. If your product sells $5,000 a month, I don't recommend
yeah,
getting that.
everybody wants that, so that's fine. But what people don't understand is like that person who's making $500,000 a month, they put in a lot of work. And I guarantee you, if you look for their product on Instagram or on Facebook, you are going to find it, guaranteed, because
Yeah.
you cannot just put it on Amazon and say, oh, my work is done, I don't need to do anything anymore, I'm done. No, that's when the hard work starts. So you don't have money for ranking, that's fine. You don't have money for PPC, you have time. Start creating your community. Put in the time, put in the work every single day, 2, 3, 4 hours. Even if, I don't care if you have kids, if you have to go to sleep, whatever you have to do, you come home from work and you put in that time, because you are building a brand. And don't quit after 2 weeks when nobody's responding to you. And once you have the page, if you have money for a VA, amazing. They're quite cheap. You can find them. There's VAs from Europe, like from our countries, that would do a job like this for very cheap. Philippines, I mean, I'm not going to name, everybody knows. But you can get somebody that every single day they go on your page. Let's say you are selling this microphone, right? I'm saying microphone because it's right in front of me. But you're selling the microphone, and every single day put out content on Instagram. Put out content every single day, 2, 3, 4 posts, and say, okay, this microphone, do some live videos of it, do some content, check out blogs, be creative, see where can people use this microphone. It's not only for podcasting, it's maybe for YouTube videos. It can be used here, it can be used there. Find all the things. Be obsessed with your product. Be obsessed, especially if it's your first product. Of course, once you start making 500,000 a month, you're probably not going to be the one doing that, but it's very important for you to learn the process. Because if you learn the process, then you can pass it on to those who you will employ eventually. And I really want you to start employing people, because you cannot do this for too long yourself. But in the meantime, start creating content and look for hashtags. So let's say you're doing microphone, put a hashtag like podcasters, put a hashtag YouTubers, hashtag my microphone is the best. I don't know, be creative, find out. And what you do, Instagram will give you a list of, like, not a list, but it will show you everybody that has used that hashtag. What can you do with that? You reach out to that person. Hey, I saw that, like, you just started your podcast. That's amazing. I love that. I've been trying it myself. Whatever you want to say. Say, by the way, you know what? I just started this company, and it's my own. It's a family-owned business. We're starting to sell on Amazon. I really like what you're doing. I would love to gift you one of these microphones. And who's going to say no? They're going to be like, oh my God, really? That's cool. Yeah. Do you mind going to Amazon and, checking to see like what page my product is on? Like, can you help me out a little bit? Like, you can do whatever you want with this. Like, you can go in so many directions. And then they find your product. It's like, oh, that's so awesome. Cool. What page was it on? Oh, it was on 3. Cool. Now you just gave them a keyword to research for your product. Now you literally had organic search, find, buy somebody that you just met on Instagram. Once they buy your product, it's like, you know what? Thank you so much. I will send you a rebate back. What do you like? Do you like Amazon gift card? Do you like PayPal? Do you like Amex? Whatever you want. You just give them that money back because you promised them to give them a product free. Imagine if you do this over and over, how your ranking is going to jump. Now you're having all these people, all this traffic from like another platform. You're not giving them a link. You're giving them actually the keyword. You gamify it for them and you make them part of your brand. And then you can be like, oh my God, like you are one of the first people to purchase our products. Like, we're so thankful for you. What do you think about joining our Facebook group that you just created a few days ago? Because we're going to be doing some promotions there. We're going to give some tips and tricks for new podcasters. Like, we can help you. There's so, do you see where I'm going with this? Like there's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah. Very
so
good.
many different ways to create this tribe around your product. And
Yeah.
once you have that, you keep repeating the process, and you'll make mistakes, and you'll be like, okay, I should not say this to this person, or I should say more of this to this person, because eventually you'll learn like what people like, what people don't like. Some people are going to be like, yeah, no, this is a scam. Like, no, thank you. You'll find that a lot, but don't get discouraged. And every time you get better, you get better, you get better. Keep putting out content, keep reaching out to people. Keep reaching out to them. Say, hey, I have this cool product. I would love for you to be like the first pioneers, the first people to try my amazing product. And next thing you know, you had 100 people. Out of those, you can take it a step further and say, hey, you know what? Did you receive your microphone? Like, can you give me a little feedback? Like, was the box okay? Did it arrive on time? Again, you start communicating with them. You make them part of the process. Everybody wants to feel important. Every single human on this earth wants to feel important. If you just tell them, hey, you know what? I gave you this microphone for free, so you will have to do some things for me. Like, no, nobody wants to hear that. But if you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like, I really appreciate you. Like, you're helping me so much. Tell me a little bit like about how it was, like, did it arrive on time? And they'll tell you, oh, you know what? The microphone is good, but the box was all smashed, or whatever. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, is there anything I can do? I would love to send you another gift card, whatever. And if they give you like the stellar feedback, be like, you know what? I would really appreciate it if you could like put this words onto Amazon, because
Yeah.
those who are looking for a microphone would really love to see what other customers like them are thinking about the product. I
Yeah.
will guarantee you the response will be very, very positive. And next thing you know, you have 10 reviews. Next thing you know, you have 20, you have 50. And that's when you start moving. Now you're ranking, now you're getting reviews. You're not forcing anybody. You're just literally saying, oh, wow, you liked it. Like, do you mind sharing that experience like with the other customers on Amazon? You know what I mean? So you
Yeah,
can,
yeah, yeah, completely. I
but
mean, that makes all sense.
it takes a lot of work. Everybody knows this, guys. What I do is not like some genius idea, but it takes work. I put in so many hours and so much work to create the community that I have. So of course, for somebody that has the money for a ranking campaign, they will come to me because they don't have hours and hours and hours to sit around and create this community that will take 6 months to a year or whatever, or maybe less if you work a lot. So that is how I get clients, because most people, they want to focus on what their genius is, which is, some people is like, they're really good at product research. Somebody's like really, really good at PPC. They don't have time or the desire to start creating a community. And that's
Yeah, yeah.
where I come in. However, everybody can do this. Every single person.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you. That's a very creative way. I really love how you do it organically and how you build relationships, because I think it's all about relationships in the end. People who like, if you build a good tribe, they'll buy your future products as well. But if you don't,
100%.
you're just another
100%.
microphone in a sea of microphones.
Thank you.
I assume I'm sure you see lots of products that come your way, because, well, you have lots of clients and they show you their products to rank.
Yes.
So for people who are starting out, what would be some of the products that are easy to rank, and what would be some of the products you see that are very, very hard to rank, and what are the characteristics of them?
So I guess I would say, there's some categories that will always be a little bit harder to rank. And those are the ones that are super, super competitive, only because they've been selling for a long time. Something like that would be supplements, because supplements, usually what I've noticed is the sellers, they already have a pool of money they can take from. So they'll come in already armed. They're coming in and they're not doing a product. They're doing a whole line. They're doing like 5 to 10 products at once. They're ranking all of them with somebody like me. So if you come in and you have no money for ranking, and you have one tiny supplement, let's say a keto product, like this guy over here, he's going to swallow you, because he already has a lot of money to pull from, which it's going to take him even higher, even higher, even higher. So this kind of products that are super, super competitive, I don't usually recommend for somebody just starting out. I'm not saying that you cannot do it. I've seen it done and amazingly done. You can do anything you want, but you also have to be realistic and not just throw your money at a product that somebody's going to come in and like wipe you out. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't go for things like that. But, if you look at it, every single category has very competitive products. So, but this, supplements, I know for a fact that it's very hard to get into because of the demand, but they also make the most money.
Yeah.
They make a lot of money, so I know it's very tempting. And please, by all means, you can start it, but I'm just saying, like, don't expect to do, like I said, 500,000 tomorrow. Yeah, you will get there. I believe that you can definitely get there. I've seen it done over and over again. When it comes to products, but even with supplements, like, I'll have to say, like, I had a client a few weeks ago, and he had a supplement, and we started doing the giveaways, and I thought it was going to take a long time for him to rank, but surprise, he got ranked in 4 days. Four
Wow.
days. And I was trying to think, like, how in the world this happened, because we know how hard supplements are to rank. But then I realized, because of the limitations, not a lot of people are doing a lot of giveaways. So when
Yeah.
he started to do giveaways on this very competitive keyword, we were just hitting it every single day, just like we do. And next thing you know, he was ranked on page one. And then, like, a few days later, he got no, not bestseller. He got Amazon Choice.
Wow.
Unbelievable for a supplement. But then again, I think is because, people are a little bit more careful with doing giveaways, which makes me think this is the perfect time to rank products right now, because the limitations, I think they're increasing a little bit, but they're still around like the 200, 300, 400 area. So there's not a lot of people who are courageous enough to, like, give away their product. But this
Yeah.
is the time to come in and dominate. This is the time to
Yeah.
come in and destroy your competition. This right
Yeah.
now.
That's very encouraging, and I want to say like a couple words about supplements because I sell them myself. Though supplements are very competitive, every niche, even supplements, they have sub niches. So if you do like vitamin C, you can do vitamin C for sleep and vitamin C, blah blah blah. So there are smaller sub niches that you can still dominate, and you don't need that many units to give away. But in general, I tried keto supplement once, and I would have like hundreds of negative reviews by Chinese sellers. I would have lots of like negative
Yes.
feedback, and I'm like, I'm going out of this right away. No,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and there's some ruthless competitors out there that don't play fair, And if you think about it, like, we're all on Amazon because we all want to, like, feed our families, we want to have that financial freedom, and you have these people who are just ruthless. They'll come in and, like, try to destroy you, and they will
yeah,
start playing that nasty games where they'll post all these bad reviews, and you can tell they're like the same, you can
yeah.
you can tell they're fake, and then
This
you
is
tell
poison.
yeah, you tell Amazon, and Amazon is like,
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't see you, I can hear you, I don't know what you're talking about. I got customers to take care of, right? This is where
Yeah,
Amazon comes in. It's like, you're good, you're fine, you'll be fine.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, that you can definitely get into supplements. And you mentioned a really good point. The sub niches, it's you can still rank a product, but there's so many variations of that keyword. So don't just focus on, like, if you go for keto supplement, of course you're gonna have to give away 1,000 a day, and you're gonna freak out, and you're gonna be like, how in the world, this will never happen. But what about keto supplement for when I don't feel like working out? I'm just giving a
yeah,
stupid example, but you know what I mean. There's all these long tail keywords that they'll have some search volumes. What if you dominate that? What if you
yeah,
dominate a keyword that's, I don't know, 5,000 searches, 6,000, 10,000, but you're number one? Yeah,
yeah,
it's not 100,000 searches, it's not 500,000 searches, but you're the number one in the 5,000. Like, you're going to get sales from that. You're going to get sales from here. You're going to get sales from here. And next thing you know, because you're touching all these keywords, you're moving up on the main keyword too. So now you're not on page 10 anymore. Maybe you're on page 7. which is
Yeah.
gives you, it's like, okay, I'm doing something. And then every time you hit the small keywords, the long tail keywords, the main one gets triggered. And the next
Yeah.
thing you know, you're able to target the main keyword, because it won't take you as many giveaways, because you already warmed up. You're already on, closer to the finish line.
Amazing. That's a great advice, and yeah, I'm with you. We're trying the same thing, and it definitely works. So I can attest to what you're saying. And let's move on back to your story, because there's some interesting things I want to ask. One of the questions, what I usually do with the guests that we have common friends with, I go to our common friends and I ask, what would be the good question I can ask her that, let's say, nobody asked before, something interesting. And here's a question from one of our common guests. He said, ask her about her real estate background. So
Oh,
can you
really?
tell me more about that?
Oh, wow, that's a surprise. I want to know who that person is. So, I used to do real estate. Surprise. I used to do real
Wow.
estate, and I got into it here in California, and I was amazing. Let's put it this way. I was so good. I was like selling properties left and right. I think when you're a people's person, it's very easy to communicate with people. You can really get into any sales position. So even though I really, really loved real estate, it was, I was showing all this $1 million homes to these people that I couldn't buy myself. It
Yeah.
was nice. Like you can start making really good money with real estate, especially in a place like San Diego, California. But even that is not enough to like get you that like $5 million house, right? So I was like showing all these places, and I was like picturing myself in it, and it was amazing. Again, like it was really good. I think it was a very good experience for me. I got to meet different people, different personalities, which I feel like every single thing we do in life leads us to the point where we are now. So my experience, like working with like mean people, working with nice people, because you meet all kinds of people. Like real estate is not made for everyone. I'll tell you that. As an agent, you really have to have really strong personality, because people will step on you, people will laugh with you, people will cry with you. Like it's a big commitment, especially for somebody buying their first homes. Is like their biggest purchase of their life,
Yeah.
having that. So, in a way, you are responsible for their happiness. And I think what made me really good at it is I actually put myself in their shoes. Like, would I want to live in this house? Like, would I love being here? And I never wanted to be that kind of person that just makes a sale to like just make money. No, there's many times I was like, you know what? That's a shitty house. Like, don't get it. Like, I don't like it. Like, there's something wrong about it. But because I was so honest, I people started really trusting me. They're like, wow, like this girl actually has our best interest at heart. And this is what happened at Rank Bell. Like exactly the same thing. And it's like I keep going back to Jeff Bezos, because like he is so right. Like customer service, if you become the best in customer service, you will win over anyone. Like I like to think Rank Bell is the best service provider when it comes to ranking. And we
Yeah.
are that because of the amount of love and care we put into with our clients. Because there's other ranking companies. I mean, there's friends who send me messages like, oh, did you see there's like a new competitor in town? I'm like, no, I don't. Because nobody can really replace you as you. But yeah,
Yeah.
so tell our common friend, thank you for the reminder. It's been many, many years. But as I said, I really loved every single job that I had. And I will never take anything back, because every single one, like I told you, I was a nanny. I cleaned a few houses here and there when I needed extra money. Trust me, I was not afraid of any type of job. If it paid me money and if I could like send money home to my family, I would do it. you
Yeah.
know so every single job that I've done, I really put in my heart and soul, and I really wanted those people to remember me as their best. It's like I've always been obsessed with the idea of being the best.
That's
Always.
amazing.
Because
Yeah.
why do one thing if you cannot do it the best? Like you're gonna do that thing anyway. I never understood how somebody can come to work and they just sit angry all the time. Like example, airports in Europe. Oh my God, this is why I need to buy my own jet. Okay, this is why I go to Germany airport. It's 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, and the person at the desk, it's already mad. I'm like, how can you already be mad? You just got here. Like, if you have a job, like, for God's sake, like, enjoy it. You have to be there anyway. Make the best of it. Be fun. Be happy. Like, yeah, it's a shitty job or whatever, but you're waking up every single day, go to that job. You decide how your day is going to go. How are you already mad when you just got to work? Like, please explain. So I've always been obsessed with the idea that any single job I have, I want them to say, Izabela was the best we'll ever have. I've been obsessed. And I took that in every single thing I've done. All my real estate deals, every single person, Izabela, you are the best we've ever worked with. Thank you. I work for the U.S. Embassy. Izabela, you're the best we've ever had. Because I actually, and it's not even that I did such a big effort. It was just, I was doing a little bit more than what everybody else was doing. Everybody else was showing up. I was showing up and I was present.
Yeah.
That's the secret. Be present. Doesn't matter if your job pays $5 an hour. Be present, learn everything, be the best at it. Because every time you're the best at something, impossible for that person to ever let you go. You want to start your own business? You have 2 clients? Make sure you're the best for those 2 clients. Oh, but I don't have 1,000 clients. Be the best for those. Serve those that you have right now. And whether you have 2 clients or 1,000 or 5,000 or 20, 30,000 like we do, be the best with every single one. Every single one of our clients, when they come to us, they feel like they're the only ones that we have.
Amazing.
They're the only ones that we have. Because we care. We absolutely we care. And I'm not just messing with you. I'm not just saying that because we're live. People that know me, they know. I'm going to do it until the end of life because that is who I am. That is my personality.
Yeah, and that's why people are ready to pay premium because of you, because of what you bring to the table. So it's beautiful.
Thank
and
you.
Again, we have I know people who use your services, and they're that's the only thing they talk about. So I completely agree with you. So again, I looked at another interview, and I actually watched a lot of interviews before that, preparing for this.
Thank you.
In one of the interviews, you said that in 2021, which is now, if you finally are launching your own products, you said you're launching a pharmaceutical company and a personal brand.
Yes.
What made you to decide to go there? And anything you want to share? You don't have to share any products, but like, how did you get there, and like, why?
Because I was crazy. I think Amazon sellers are crazy. If you're starting to sell on Amazon, you have to be a little crazy, I think.
I agree with that.
I've never been interested in selling products, actually. I do well with people. Like, for me, sitting behind a computer, logging into Seller Central, looking at my PPC and looking at this and replenish your stock and doing this, that to me, it's like, oh my God, can somebody kill me right now? Like, I cannot. Like, it's not in my personality. But I said, you know what? Everybody's saying, oh, you have ranked well, but you never sold a product. I'm like, how hard can it be? Let me try it. Guys, it's hard. It's freaking hard. It doesn't compare, okay? Amazon is crazy. Like, it's crazy. It's like you can tell them the same thing like 5 times, and one time they'll be like, oh, okay, cool. And the other times they're like, no, you cannot do this. It's like, who is behind this computers? That are they not all working at the same place? Like, anyway, so I launched my personal brand. It's slow, it's easy, it's a supplement brand, and it's going up there, but I'm in no rush. I really wanted to see the process, and I am seeing the process, and it's crazy, but I'm going with it. Turn on the PPC and everything, optimizing keywords, blah blah blah. It's not my favorite. The other brand, the pharmaceutical brand that I'm creating with my friend, it's going to be amazing. Like, I can see it. Like, I know where it's going. Like, a very, very small competition there. But it's very small competition because it's very hard. We've been working it for almost a year. almost a year. So one, it was very hard to find the supplier for that. Very hard. Like we found the supplier like months after. Nobody's doing this because it's kind of it's hard to make, one, and two, it's very hard to transport here. We have to to get our own container for the products. It cannot be put in with other containers. So that was another thing. And then when we thought everything was good, we send the money to the supplier. The supplier's like, oh, this is what you order. We're like, no, that's not what we ordered. We ordered something else. They're like, no, you ordered this. And we're like, no, we didn't. Oh my God. So it's like, literally speaking Chinese, right? Like people that have a saying speaking Chinese, but now literally we were like, holy cow. So we finally got it fixed. Another month has passed. And then now all the ships are stuck there. And then we had the Chinese holiday. And next thing you know, it's like we've been working for this almost a year. And I'm like, holy cow, like all the Amazon sellers, I salute you. Like you guys are the real MVPs. You guys have the patience of like, I don't know what, but I salute all of you. And I appreciate it. You know what I mean? And this is why I wanted to start selling, because I really wanted to see what it's like what are the pain points? And guys, I see it. I am sorry. Okay. I am sorry for everything that you're going through, but we're here for you. I got you.
Yeah. Amazing.
So that's what
I think that's great. I mean, it's great you're trying it out, and I'm pretty sure you can relate to sellers while you're doing it. So that's amazing. I look forward to seeing how the brands go. So I'm sure you guys will do great. Couple more questions I do ask every entrepreneur. I call it rapid fire questions. I start hearing myself in some.
No worries.
There's like an echo. It's questions asked every entrepreneur. You can answer short way, you can answer long way. It doesn't mean rapid fire. Doesn't mean that you have to answer it in like a short form. Yeah. So take as much time as you want. But this is like I compare notes with every entrepreneur who comes here. So the question number one is, if you just had $5,000, let's say you're starting over, and you have no list, no communities, no Facebook groups, no rank bell, but you want to grow it and you need to pay some debts. Let's say you're in debt and then you want to break even, pay the debts, and just succeed, I guess. What would your plan be like in a couple sentences? What would you do?
So the question is, if I had $5,000 or if I had no dollars?
You just have $5,000 to your name, and then you don't have any connections, nothing. You're just what you know right now, and just $5,000.
Well, it's interesting, coming from a person that, I came here with $100, $5,000 is like, whoa, that's a lot of money.
Like a lot.
There's just so many things that you can do today. So what I would do, I probably wouldn't even touch that money. I'm a big investor. Okay. So for me, if I had no debts, let's start with that. If all my debts are paid, I hate that. I never have a payment every month. It's a little bit of obsession, but I don't have any payments per month beside my mortgages. That's it. So I always want to make sure that I have enough money into savings. So if that's all I had, $5,000, I wouldn't even touch it. If I had more, then I would start thinking of investing. How can I invest this? Like I'm huge in mutual funds and, stocks and things like that. But let's say I don't have any of that, I would keep that money. But what I would do, I would actually reach out to people like what I do right now, and I would start a small business with this. How do you start a small business with this? And maybe this goes against, maybe a lot of ideas out there. But so what I do for my company, there's two parts of what I do. One, I work with sellers like yourself and, all the others. And one, I work with buyers. So the buyers that I have, I give them free products all the time, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of products that I give them for free. So what I would do is I would, try to get these products and I would sell them on the, Craigslist or like at a flea market or something. Of course I would never sell them back on Amazon because that's when you get in trouble, but you have all these products. Like I would probably be able to make like $500 a week or $1,000. Like, you're getting all these products for free. You
Yeah.
can like literally take them and sell them at a flea market or whatever,
Yeah.
where people like swap meet or something. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many ways, so many creative ways you can make money. That's with no money. That's takes you nothing, takes you time. Another thing that you can do if you want to dip into that $5,000 is you can start buying products, kind of like online arbitrage. You'll
Yeah.
buy like maybe some shoes. You can go look at some stores. There's so many stores here in US that are like discounted, like Ross, and you can even find things at Target and all these stores that you can put online. You can put on eBay, or you can put there's all these other channels now, like Discord. If I don't know if you've ever heard of it, there's so many different channels. Like, you take something that's you buy for $50 and you can sell it for a few $100s. Like, a friend of mine was actually telling me the other day, he got this amazing pair of sneakers. I think he paid $175 and he was able to sell it for $4,000.
Wow.
But you
Yeah. Great.
understand, there's many ways to do this if you actually want to make money. Everything is out there for us. Like 10, 15, 20 years ago, we didn't have all this information. We didn't have all these opportunities. Like, if I have $5,000 right now and internet, you better believe I'm going to make some real money with that.
Amazing. Yeah.
Sorry, I
Amazing.
went all kinds of ways with this, but
That's
there's
good. That's good. That's
so
good.
many ways. So many ways.
Yeah. The next question is, can you talk about choose one of your biggest failures, and what did you learn from it?
One of my biggest failures. So it's very hard to answer this question because throughout my journey, I failed many times, but I never had like, I can't be like, oh my God, I lost all my money in the stock market, or I lost all my houses, they all burned down. No, I cannot say that. But as a human, like, you go through life, like, I failed many times, like, failed here, failed there. I made the mistake here, made the mistake there. I spend a bunch of money on stupid things that I shouldn't have. But every single time, like, that had to happen. You understand? That had to happen for me
Yeah.
to become who I am right now. So every single time I fail at something, I am learning. So I started developing this mindset around failure that actually propels me further. So every time I fail at something, I don't start like crying like maybe I used to, but I'm thinking, okay, let's see what happened. Let's not get emotional about this. Where did I go wrong? I went wrong here, here, and here. This was good, but this sucked. Okay, so now I take that information and I'm going to apply it next time. Because if I don't make this little mistakes here, how would I know when a bigger one comes? I wouldn't. So I can't say like, I wouldn't change really anything. I wouldn't change
Okay.
anything about my life.
Yeah. Great. So now, question about your life. Since you mentioned your life, how did your life change from when you came, let's say, with $100 to now when you're making 7 figures? Like, how did your everyday life change?
It changed nothing. Absolutely nothing, and I think it's because, okay, if you were to like have $100 today and then tomorrow win the lottery, you would probably get all kinds of messed up because now you find yourself in all this money. But when you are on a journey, as you probably know yourself, it's like you reach certain limits. Like, oh my God, I made $600 online. Oh my God, I made 1,000. Oh my God, I made 5,000, 10,000, 100,000. Holy shit, I made $1 million. But it's like, it's nice, but it's not what you thought it was going to be when you had $100. I'll put it this way. Like, this world where you're like, oh my God, if only one day I'll be a millionaire, then I'll feel like I'm on top of the world. It feels nice. It feels amazing. It's better than not have $1 million. Trust me. Okay. But you have to really find happiness within. So if you're already happy when you have $100, that's only going to enhance when you have $1 million. But if you're looking for that ultimate happiness just because you have $1 million or because you have a Lamborghini now, that's never going to come. It's never going to happen because you're always looking, okay, well, now I want 10 million. Now
For sure.
I want 100 million. Now I want Like, I want $1 billion and I will have it in this lifetime. It's like one of my things. This is where I'm going, but it's my focus, it's my goal. It's just what I want. Okay. But I know that $1 billion is not going to make me happier than I am right now. I have to be happy right now for me to even achieve that. Because a lot of people think, if I get that, then I'll be happy. Instead of saying, let me be happy now. Because what I found out in my journey is that the more I'm happy with what I have right now, the more things come to me. It's like this little secret about universe that most people are like, no, that's not true. It's too easy to be true. But the more I practice that, the mindfulness, the happiness, the content, being content with where you are right now, it only opens up more. You know why? Because then I don't get emotionally attached. If I don't get $1 billion, I'm not going to cry myself to sleep every night. Oh my God, I didn't get $1 billion. I'll be like, oh, that sucks. Let me work harder, right? But it's not an emotional thing. It's not like, oh my God, I didn't get my billion, so now I'm never going to be happy. No, I'm happy right now. Like, thank God, I have more money than I need. I have more money that I can spend. But it doesn't mean that I'm stopping. Like, it's like my joy. Like, I love this. I love what I do. I love helping people. And eventually will lead me to that. But I will always be happy first.
Amazing. Yeah, it's abundance mindset. No matter how much you have, if you're happy with that, people feel it, and then people attract to you, and energy attracts to you. If you're needy and you always like, I'm needing for more, people don't like that. Like, nobody likes when you get like a message somebody on Facebook like, hello, how are you? Are you selling on Amazon? I need to sell you stuff. I'm like, block. But if somebody would just come and if I see people in abundance, like I would just go and offer them myself, like to give them money, because this is what people attract to, people who have everything. And you don't have to have millions to have everything. You just need to be content and happy, and 100%. So I'm with you. A couple more questions. So one of them is, I'm a big book nerd. I know if you read a lot or not. I assume you are, because you like self-learning. So which book or books have influenced you the most in your journey so far?
I wish I could show you. I have books on this side and on this side, and in every single room of my house, and in the bathroom, and in the kitchen, and probably in the mailbox right now. So I have a little bit of an obsession and addiction. It's better than drugs, right? So books are good. My favorite book in the world is Think and Grow Rich. And it's such an old book. It's such an old book, Napoleon Hill. And I keep going back to it because, there's just so many books out there. It's like the shiny object syndrome, which I have. Trust me, I have, like, every week I have new books coming, but I keep going back to that one because that's like the first book that I read that was like, holy cow, this all makes sense. So if you are not addicted to books like I am, that you order a bunch every single weekend, you don't read them, okay? You just read a few pages, get Think and Grow Rich. And I'm sure most of your listeners already have that. But if you do, go back to it. And go back and read just chapters only. Like, I was reading a chapter the other day around, like, weird to say, but anyway, the sexual energy of, like, the money, because I remember, like, reading that part like years ago and I didn't get it. Like, it made no sense. I was just like, let me skip through this. But now I went back to it and I was like, okay, it makes more sense now. So every time you reread a book, you're going to see things that you didn't see the first time. So that's definitely my number one book. But I just got, right now I'm reading, a friend of mine actually bought me Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, and
really
I
nice
never
book.
read this kind of books. Like, I usually just read, like, business books, but it was highly recommended, and I started reading it a little bit, and I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm very excited to actually go through this whole book. I don't know if you read it.
Beautiful book. I actually listened to it. I mean, I do most of the time, I do audiobooks, and he narrates it himself. So
Okay.
his voice is so chill, and I don't know.
You know what? I was thinking of maybe doing that. Yeah, because I somebody mentioned that to me, that he was narrating it, and who doesn't want to listen to Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah, you should listen to it. It's just amazing, and I'm so happy that you're a book nerd, so we can share some books. Because
anytime.
My goal last year was to read 70 books, 100 books, which is not a lot, but I stopped at 73, I think, because I have small kids, so for me it's harder. But
I do too. I have a 5-year-old, so I understand.
So, The other question is, what are some of your favorite podcasts? I know that you host one, which I actually really, really like. But apart from your own one, or you can mention your own, I
Yeah.
don't mind that. What are some of your favorite podcasts, YouTubes, or anything that help you in your business and life? Like, what information do you consume and where?
So when it comes to podcasts, I listen to Andy Frisella actually.
All right.
It's called Real AF. Have you ever heard of him?
No, but I'll check it out after this.
Okay, so this guy is so real. He's like if I were a guy, I feel like that would be me. But of course, I'm a girl, and I'm like a little bit more like like nice and girly. But this guy, he comes on and he's like, "Yo, listen up, you whatever," and he just goes off, and he's just so real. And it's like, especially today, when it's like people don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know. Everybody's lost. Everybody's confused. We've been in COVID for like a year and a half. We don't know what's what. We don't know who's who. We're all so confused. And this guy is very like direct and is like just gives me this high energy. I don't think he's for everyone because he cusses a lot. He's very, like manly men. But I think you would like him. I think you like him. So yeah, if you don't remember, just send me a message. It's called Andy Frisella. But there's a few other ones that I really like. I like I don't know. Add my lad. I mean, there's just a bunch of guys that you want me to send. It's just I don't have enough time. Like I have it strategically planned. So like if I'm at the gym, like I'll listen to a podcast. But if I'm like stressed out or I have too much going on, then I'll turn on music because I need to relax. So it's like everything I do is very strategic. I like to sit down with the book because if I do audibles, then I'm not concentrating fully on the book. Then I'm like, oh, and I want to do this and I want to do that. But when I'm with a book in front of me, then I'm stuck. Like I actually have to go through. So
Yeah.
that's what I do. But yeah, when I have time, I would listen to some podcasts. I think they're amazing. I was obsessed with Clubhouse for like 2 weeks, and I was like, this is garbage. I can't do it anymore. Like, no. So that's
Yeah.
2 weeks I lasted on Clubhouse. And it's strange because I really like, podcasts and things like that. It's just, it became too much of, oh, look at me. And I'm more like real. Like, I don't need all that. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you need to follow me because I did this and this and this. It's like, no. So that was, I don't know if you've been on Clubhouse.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I have similar opinion, and I just don't have time to sit and listen to.
I don't have the time at all.
Yeah, I just listen to books that I select and podcasts I select. The thing that I cannot control what's gonna come from like the structure and what's gonna come from people's mouths makes me uncomfortable because I need to get information. I'm more
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm here to just like get information or get some emotional sense.
Yeah. And then
But
next thing you know, it's like you've been on for like 5 hours, and it's like, well, that was a waste.
Yeah, same. Yeah, so I'm with you. I'm there, but I'm not there. Even though people telling me that this podcast will be really nice in Clubhouse, but I'm like, I'll just stick for now for
Yes.
wherever I am.
Yeah.
The last question I do ask every entrepreneur, and this is different. I don't think that anyone else did that to you. Maybe if they did, tell me. But this is my journey. And that's why I'm asking every guest to give me an advice. So I'm scaling my online business. I'm selling on Amazon right now. I have a couple products, and they all make both. I have two actually products right now, and both of them are making 100,000 to me. And I'm planning to scale this business to 1 million in about 12 to 15 months, and then to 10 million. So it's not a lot of information. I'm not sharing my products just because I don't want to have competition yet. But knowing what you know, which is not a lot, what advice can you give me?
Well, of course. I mean, I do rankings, so I would say look at all the products. I don't know how many products you sell, but usually what I see with sellers is they have 1 or 2 products in their line that's killing it, but then they have like all these like 4 or 5 other products that are kind of like barely hanging on. So it's worth looking into those. What is it that I can change about them? Like, do I need to optimize the listing, or do I need to actually kill that product completely? Because some of us, tend to have emotional connection to these products. Is like, oh, it's selling like 20 a month, but I'll keep it, because it's like, no, you have to cut your losses if it's not working. But first you can try do things like ranking, or again, try to be more creative. Look, maybe change the pictures, like do everything you can before discarding it. If you don't have additional products, maybe this is the time to do it. Look at, again, it's worth looking back at your competitors, because I'm sure you did that when you first launched, but I don't know if you do that now. Like, I think that should be like automatic. Every single month you should look at what the competition is doing. What is it, not only that they're doing, what they're not doing. Come up with creative ways of what is something I can add to this product. And these things, but I feel like it's worth mentioning. What is it that I can add this product that's going to give the customer a much better experience? You know what I mean? Like, I'll give an example today. So I have a dry erase board, and my markers ran out because my kid, who knows what he did with them. So I was looking at that, and I was like, okay, I could get these markers that are like 20 in a box for whatever. But then there was another seller who was selling only like 6 of them, but he had the little sponge and the spray. And I was like, you know what? I'll get this. Instead of that, even though it was a better deal, it was more of them. So what is something that you can add that's not going to cost you too much, that can increase the value? And maybe if you cannot increase the price, but it will make people buy more from you. So there's so many little things that you can do with your existing products, but also, keep in mind diversification. How can you diversify? Like, where else can you make money? I know you have your brands, but is there something outside of this that you can do to get to the 10 million? Like, who says it has to be all Amazon?
Nobody.
I'm sure you have the products on other platforms too, but like, have you thought of Etsy? Like, is your product Etsy worthy? Can I put it on Walmart? How can I rank it on Walmart? Because Walmart is very hot, guys. Like, I'm starting to have a lot more Walmart clients, and I'm telling you, they are doing really, really good, really good. And they're letting all the other people sell on Amazon while they're taking over and dominating on Walmart. Dominating. So think of that. Can I put these products into Walmart? Again, is it a pet product? Can I put it on Chewy? Can I do something special with a network of influencers? Can I recruit some of them? There's so many ways to increase sales. There's so many ways to spike sales. And then again, can you take some of the profits that you make and invest into something that's going to increase that? I told you, I'm a big fan of mutual funds. If you ever want to talk about it, I'll tell you my favorite one, and it's making me a lot of money, a lot, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So
amazing.
There's many different ways to do it, but
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Great advice. I love it. Those are all my questions, and I really, really appreciate you. I like how humble you are. I like that you're real, and I think that definitely is rare these days. And it's so amazing to have you. How can people find more about you if they have any questions or just want to follow your journey?
Sure. So on Facebook, Izabela Hamilton, and you can see it written here. And you can find me on Rank Bell. I'm on Instagram. Instagram is more like personal. So if you see me like going crazy somewhere, like, don't mind me. That's just my personal, but you're free to follow me. Who I am, it's always going to be who I am. Like, I don't ever pretend to be someone I'm not. So like, what you see on Instagram and on Facebook, that's exactly who I am. Like I'm here with you. So feel free to follow me on any of them. Send me a message whenever you want, and I'm always available.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time, and it was a blast. We should do one again on the mutual funds and books.
Absolutely, anytime you want. Thank you. This was really fun. So thank you for doing this all the way from Bali.
I appreciate that. And for everyone listening, you guys can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe. Everything is down below. And if you like it, please leave us a review, because that helps us to spread to more people. And I'll talk to you guys next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.